Right, here we are. It's had slightly longer than 15 minutes. Nothing ever goes to plan, does it? Yeah, I was just waiting for me little dog to come in from outside just to see it. But anyway, that's a different story. So let's get on. So this has been resting and it's been working while we've been doing nothing. So we're going to take the thing out. So we're just going to scrape it all out of the bowl on the top. Still no flour. And we're going to start to work the thing. So number one, we'll keep our scraper there because do you know what? I'm going to discard that one because it's full of muck, and I'm going to use a clean one just for getting me self sorted out. First thing I'm going to do with the clean one, I'm just going to make it a bit of a clean ball. Clean ball. That's all we're going to do. Just tidy it up, which it's fine. There we go. And the method I'm going to start to use is a one which I've seen a French baker use called Richard Burton. He's very good. He's the one that comes up with the saying as a slogan, show the dough who's boss. And it really is true. Because if you're frightened of a bit of flour and water, you know you're not going to get anywhere. So we're going to have a go. Like I say, I've not really done this, so we'll you know, it's a long time since I've done it. Probably school. So we're going to have a go. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to pick the dough up. And we're going to kind of slap it down, we're going to stretch it and leave it like that. So we're just going to follow that method. I'm going to just take it, turn it every time. I'm pinching it, turning it, pinching it. So I'm literally slapping it down, pinching it, and I'm turning it to the side. So I'm kind of working it from both angles, if that makes sense. And as we're doing it, I'm trying to like stretch it out and pull it. Stretch it out, pull it. And we'll just get a little rhythm going. That's all we're going to do. Just stretch it out and pull it. Stretch it out. It's very rough, the dough. You can see it looks as though you think what you're doing. What you'll find, it starts feeling a bit tighter as you go, but it doesn't really matter. We're just going to do that. There's other methods. This I'm kind of using because it's less hands-on, so I'm not getting all my hands sticky. So all my palms are still clean. And all I'm doing is we just developing the dough. And you'll see there's a bit of a mess all over the top. That's fine. So I'm stretching with my hands, stretching like this. So I'm trying to stretch it that way and stretch it that way, if that makes sense. Stretch it that way, stretch it that way. Stretch it that way, stretch it that way. And it looks rough, and I don't know how long I'm going to do it for. I haven't even been timing. Well, I have because the video's running, isn't it? And if you say, look at the state of your top, this is the point where you just stop. Just kind of get your fingers cleaned up a little. Get your scraper and just tidy it back up. Just tidy it back up. So yeah, there's a bit more to it. To be fair, there is. And just repeat. We're just going to keep on going. How long we're going to do this for? Till it's done. How do we know when it's done? It won't look like a right mess. It'll look smooth. And at the moment, it's not. So do you know what? What I'm going to do, rather than kind of do it slow and waffle on, I'll still waffle. This is what I do. I'll just speed up a little bit. And what we're actually replicating is what the machine does. And to be fair, I know I've seen Richard Burton do this, and he does actually say, and he does it with a bigger amount, which, to be honest, I think it's easier with a bigger amount. But he says he can do it faster like this than he can do it in a machine. Well, we'll see, won't we? Yeah, it's like I say, I'd rather have a go at doing it. And even if it doesn't turn out as good, I'd rather say, you know what, I've had a go at doing that bread. And yeah, it's not as good as I'd get with a machine, but it's a downside better than not at all. You know what I mean? You think, well, I've had a go, I've made it. Yeah, it's might be a little bit, well, we don't know yet. I don't know. It might be just as good. I'm kind of surmising that I'm not as good as a machine. No comments there. No comments from you lot. See, I can have a little break while I'm doing it. I just pretend I'm talking to you and think. At the moment, my arms are not aching because I'm not I'm not actually putting a lot of work in. It's just more technique than anything. Which I know you're saying, well, that's not looking too great, is it? Well, we're trying. I'm trying for you, you know. Now it's looking a bit of a mess on the top again, isn't it? So I can feel the door's actually getting a bit smoother, you know. It looks rough as a badger's backside. Which, I mean, how rough does a badger's backside look? I don't know where these sayings come from. I'm sure there'll be people out there that know. But I think, well, how would you know that? But anyway, there we go. So we just crack on with it. We just slap and fold, we do whatever we're doing. Like I say, there's other methods out there. If there's one you fancy doing, just have, for all I'm doing, I'm just having a go. Just to prove that, but I'm not, sorry, I don't mean it in a condescending way to prove you can do it. I kind of mean just to prove that it's achievable. That's kind of all I want to say is, you know, yeah, I believe if you've got machines and things like that, they're useful. They really are. But what I always consider is when I'm doing these little videos and what have you. Well, everyone's like, oh, what you've got, Jason? I'll say, well, I know. But I always try to say there's an option, there's an alternative. You don't have to use this. You know, if I use a machine, there's generally a way around. That's, you know, some things I wouldn't even bother without a machine. But you know, at the end of the day, like mayonnaise, doing it with a stick blender, that's dead quick. That. If you haven't seen that, then you need to have a look at that. I mean, that just proves what. Now, say I'm making a right mess on the top, so tidy it back up. That's all I'm going to do. Just make it a tidy space again. Scrape some of that off my fingers. And what will eventually happen, I hope, if I'm still doing this at 12 o'clock tonight, you know I'm not doing it right. But, like I say, if I'm doing it 15 minutes in the machine and the machine's better than me, then, yeah, I could be here sometime from now. But we'll see. Because the machine kind of doesn't have technique. It's just kind of power it goes round. We're actually doing something with the door. We're actually, you know, stretching it, double stretching. We develop the gluten, so eventually this is going to come, which it is there, it's going to come stretchy. Because that's what the gluten does. It makes it stretchy. So I should have had a list of things to talk about, shouldn't I? So I talked about retirement earlier on, didn't I? Which, yeah, I'm having a great time. So we're 3 years now. Retired just before I was 50, working in the chemical industry. So I did that 32 years, like I say. And I just got to the point where, you know, working shifts for that long, it's hard work, you know. Some people love it, but nights. And the thing is, we're doing like 12-hour days, 12-hour nights. So at the end of it, at the end of the kind of the cycle, you're doing like 48 hours in 4 days. It's kind of a lot. So yeah, even for your days off, and people say, oh, you got a lot of days off, but you're tired for your days off. And then it's time to go back to work again. But anyway, that's a different story now. So yeah, I'm a humble pensioner, as it were. Not a pensioner, as it were, but taking a pension. And people say, well, why don't you do that? I thought, why don't you do this and do that? I think, well, I've retired. To be fair, I just like to do this to try to inspire people, to try to give people, and I've repeated it loads of times, I know I have, but to try to give people what I would have loved to somebody to have given me, which sometimes it's just a little, you know, a tip. This is getting stretchy a bit now, by the way. I can feel it. It's starting to get smoother, stretchier. I'm still making a mess, of course, but one thing, I'm not out of puff yet, and we've still got some time left. I've been stopping and starting it, to be fair, but we're 9 minutes in, and normally this gets done on a machine for at least 15 minutes. So There's my door.
Someone is at the front door.
Yeah, my wife's going to get it because I'm a little bit tied up here. Could be anyone, I don't know who it is. But they'll have to wait because I'm in mid-floor here. So if they're needing me, then they'll have to come back. Sometimes you just can't stop. Great with the machine, you just turn the button off, can't you? But with this, you just keep on going. Here we go. And with it, it's coming, you know. It's not too bad here. You might think, oh, it still looks the right state, but I can feel this is turning into a different feel completely now. So I don't think this is way too far away, you know. So we're looking to achieve a nice stretchy door, which one of the things I can show you how you tell it if it's ready when you've kneaded it. It's called the window pin test. Basically, you grab the edge of the door and you pull it up and you stretch it between your fingers, and you want to be able to see the light through it without it tearing. So what's that telling you is the door has maintained its integrity. It's developed and it's got the strength there that it's able to stretch so thinly that you can see the light through there without it. I'm going to stop and tidy my mess up again because it's getting a bit later. I should be doing this faster, by the way, but to be fair, I'm pacing myself a little because I don't want to look stupid getting out of breath on here. Thinking, what's he doing? He's trying to show us some easy and he's getting there. But what's really helped, to be fair, is that little resting period at the beginning. So it just lets the door do its thing. Well, we're not doing anything, which is good. I'm all for that. Let things do the work for you if you can, which is why I use a machine. So much easier. But at the end of the day, I'd rather do this than have bread than not. If that makes sense. I don't know. You know when you say things and you're trying to work out in your mind, did that just make sense what come out of my mouth? So yeah, this is getting smoother, and you can get up ahead of steam. Don't get me wrong. I could go a little bit quicker, which I should really. And what's happening is it's gaining more strength, more pliability, more elasticity, all those things, and eventually it'll like when I roll the ball, it gets kind of tighter and tighter as it's pulling. Even though it's stretching, you're working it and you're kind of making it tighter as you develop that gluten, and it comes to a point where it wants to snap back into the ball. See how it's actually pulling back and going out. So that's telling me it's on the right road. To be fair, I was using my machine the other day, and that was on for I think 17 or 18 minutes before I got what I wanted, which is fine. Like I say, the machine was doing it for me. I just kind of always build time in when I'm doing things like this, just to make sure I've got enough time, to be fair. If you think you're going to do something, you give yourself 4 hours and it takes 5 hours, then you're rushing about. So I always give myself enough time. You think, well, you'll have enough time, won't you, if you're retired? But it doesn't always work like that. I find myself busier, to be fair, especially doing this. Don't get me wrong, I do love doing all of this, but it's more so like uploading videos and things like that take forever. I can feel it's getting tighter now. I don't think this is too far away. It doesn't look smooth, believe me, but it's definitely changing. So when I'm doing it, it'll come to a point where it shouldn't make any mess on the top, so which is good. But I'm just going to crack on, doing what we're doing. Let's get it tidied up, Jace, because it's looking a bit of a mess again. Looking a bit of a mess. Like I say, what's going to be interesting is to do I am actually doing a comparison because I'm doing one in machine as well, but I'm not doing the same one, so I can't do a side-by-side comparison, which is a shame. I should have really, but I'm not today. I'm doing some baguettes, so I'm doing these fadgies. I'm making some baguettes as well. People tend to ask me for things now, so I like to oblige if I can, only if I can. It's getting smoother, this, getting smoother. So we've passed the 15-minute mark. Now I haven't fully been going for 15 minutes, but my machine goes for 15 minutes, and I've seen it at this point in the machine at 15 minutes. So I'm not feeling too bad, to be fair. And I've had to let it go for a bit longer, but I could speed myself up. Don't know how many gears I've got on my speed dial. Should find out, shouldn't I? No, I don't want you laughing at me. I don't want to be huffing and puffing on here, because I know what'll happen. My daughter will get a clip of it and put it on YouTube with some daft music or something. You can't, honestly, you have to look what you're doing all the time. She's one of these ones, she'll catch me doing something. And then she shares me doing something stupid, which is generally all the time. And then everyone laughs at me, which I don't mind. This is getting better, you know. So I've not really, I'm guessing most of these things you get better with practice, but I probably won't be doing a lot of practice, to be fair. I'm just showing it's possible. There's other ways I used to knead by hand. You stretch it but it's not even going to work, to be fair. I think this method is, I was going to try and do it, because what I used to do years ago, I just used to keep on adding more flour until it didn't stick to my hand, which then it didn't stick to my hand anymore. I'm talking about when I was a kid back at school and that. It doesn't stick to your hand, but it's like a brick when it comes out, because you've changed the recipe, haven't you? You just put loads of flour in. And the old saying goes, the wetter the dough, the better the loaf. That's the saying, and it's true. It's getting smoother, this is getting tighter, and I'm getting happier. Feeling pulling, just wanting to pull back together now. There's still another couple of minutes left in it, I think, but I'm just going to keep going. Like I say, I could, if I wanted to. I could probably stop now, but I'm not going to. I think I could go a bit further. It's getting smoother, it's getting tighter. I don't think it'd be too bad, but I don't think it's at its best. So I've gone this far, so for the sake of a couple more minutes, rabbiting on at you. You've probably already turned me off by now. Or fast forwarded 3 or 4 times. I know what it's like. Man, I just want to see how you do it. Well, after 18 minutes, if you can't see how I'm doing it, man, I'm going to be dreaming about kneading dough. It's getting smoother. It's getting stronger. Let's go a bit at it now then. Keep on saying that and I do it 2 or 3 times and then back to square one. Slow again. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the look of that. It certainly doesn't look like it does from a machine where it's, you know, it's really stretchy and really glossy and that, but it's not far away. We'll give it, I'll give it the window pane test just to show you. Done it that many times now. I should have counted, shouldn't I? Drive you daft. Drive you daft doing that. So, at the end I'm not going to have a clue what I've talked about. And at the end you're going to say, well, I haven't got a clue what you've been talking about either, Jason. But we want a good chat. Know somebody did that once on the answering machine. So basically a friend of mine, she got a call off an older lady. And it went to the answering machine. So anyway, she left a message, but as she was doing the message, she kind of was talking as though the person was there. So at the end of the message, 20 minutes later, and this was a message, she said, "Well, it was lovely talking to you, we'll have to do that again." And she was on the answering machine. I think my mum was like that. She used to phone you to talk to you, and I don't think you ever got a word in edgeways with her mum. But yeah, she's no longer with us now, Mum, but or my dad. But yeah, that's it. These things in life. My mum was a good baker. More cakes, scones, etc. But that's where I started, to be fair. Somebody asked me the other day, where did you start? Well, it was just watching my mum. She used to do, cakes mainly. But all sorts of bits and pieces she'd come out with. And they were good. She never made bread or anything like that, but she was mainly known for chocolate cakes. Now this is getting smoother. I've said this all along, but I can feel it getting better. Really is. Yeah, chocolate cakes. And funnily enough, it's one of the things I've not really made. I'm going to actually do it just as a, bit of a tribute to my mum. I think just make these chocolate cakes and just see what they turn out like. I always used to get one for my birthday, chocolate cake. Always real chocolate on the top. But yeah. You know what? Let's have a look. Right, window pane test is this. You grab the edge of it and you pull it, and you start to see, and that's not quite holding. No, it's tearing. So we're going to go a bit further. Might as well now. 20 minutes we've been going, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. But like I say, if it was hard work. But the other thing, I think, what's potentially possible is you just leave it longer in the bowl. There's a technique in sourdough making, and you stretch it and fold it after every half hour, which is one way you could get round doing this, which is a different thing. But yeah, every half hour you stretch and fold. Actually, I think the pain test is not now. I think the pain test actually comes when you've done the first resting. So actually, now I've thought about that, I don't think. Well, let's see if I can make it into a ball like I do. So I'll give that a good go there, and that's holding its shape. I think I've actually done this more than I needed to do it. I've never done it like this before. So I knew sort of what I was looking for, but you know what? We've got ourselves a ball of dough from that mess that's beginning to smooth up, and I'm not too dissatisfied with that. Like I say, from the difference of, like I say, you can do it like this. I've showed you before. Just think of it like a scraper, or you can get your fingers in it. And the reason it's looking sticky on the top is because I've still got stuff all over, so this is sticking. I can feel the dough's tight as I'm doing this, but it's sticking to my hand with all the sticky stuff. So I'm looking for a smooth surface, and I'm thinking, why is that on there? Well, it's got sticky marks off my hand, but it's getting smoother. There you go, done. There we go. There you go. I'm happy with that. So 23 minutes down, we've done it by hand. All by hand, not in a sweat, not out of breath. Probably done it longer than I needed to, so that's going to go back in this bowl. I might as well use this bowl. Get a bit of oil in. I'm going to pick the cap back on, give it an hour and a half till it doubles in size, and then make me fadgies. But done by hand, no machine, so it's possible. Good stuff. I tell you what, let me get some oil and do this job now. You might as well say it to the end, so you don't think I'm cheating and put it back in the machine when you're gone. Because I know what you're like. Yeah, he's put it back in the machine. He's trying to tell us that this is by hand. Look, we've gone off and he's put it back in that machine. I know. So there we go, in there. It's all good. Lid on. So we'll come back, get this tidied up. Come back and then we'll make some fadgies. So there we go, bread dough by hand in real time from start to finish, and then let's go and see at the other end. So bye for now.